Greetings, everyone. Once again, it's brother Mota Mwanedi sharing the authentic truth brought to us by Zulula 100. Here, the message is going to be: Is Christ a descendant of David, who is the lion of the tribe of Judah? According to the flesh, the Christ is from the lineage of Levi because he is the son of Mary according to the flesh, and Mary, she is a Levite. There is an apocryphal book, the Barnabas Gospel. In there, they claim that no, Mary, she was a descendant of David. She was from David. And that is completely false. You have to understand that there is only one mandated teacher. It is Zulula 100. He is the only one that knows all the prophecies of the Bible, all the Bible versions, all he has the explanation of all the scriptures. He is the only one mandated. And there are fake pastors out there who will claim that no, Christ is the descendant of David. He is the lion of the tribe of Judah, because they are victims of false translations. They are victims of falsified texts, of fake versions of the current Bibles. There is also those who call themselves Hebrew Israelite who will claim that no Christ is from Judah, and they're gonna share pictures and so on of the Christ and Judah and so on. You have to understand that they are not in the truth, and those who come to try to contradict the teachings of Zulula 100, they are exposing their lack of knowledge, their lack of understanding of the scriptures. So here we're going to demonstrate once again, we're going to show you in the Bible, in the current classical Bible, that Christ is not from the lineage of Judah. He is not a descendant of David. And we're going to show you where Christ himself says that he is not from David. So you out there who listen to the message, who accept the message, don't be afraid of those who will try to come and contradict the only mandated teacher, Zulula 100, or to contradict his teaching. Because when they're trying to contradict, when they're trying to supposedly correct the teachings of Zulula 100, they're only exposing their lack of knowledge. They're only exposing themselves, and Zulula 100 crushes them. When those people will try to explain that, Christ will try to insist that Christ is the son of is a descendant of David, they'll use Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. In Revelation 5:5 it says, "And one of the elders said to me, so this was John. John was on the island of Patmos, at the island of Patmos. And he had a vision, he had a revelation. He had many visions, and he was guided through his vision by a spiritual entity that appeared to him. And that spiritual entities, you have to understand that many people confused that entity and said that it was in fact Christ. The fake pastors, that's what they believe. And I've already shared the message, shared and demonstrated that he was in fact an entity and not Christ himself. And he was shown many things. He was shown a vision, and he saw the elders. And here it says, "And one of the elders said to me, 'Stop weeping, semicolon. Behold, the lion that is from the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has overcome as to open the book and its seventh seal.'" So here they're claiming that the elder said this to John, and you have to understand that that is completely false. Zulula 100 knows all the elders, all the entities of the great order of things. He knows them one by one by their name. And no elders of the great order of things could have said such heresies. Because if an elder will say those type of words, he will contradict the Christ himself. He will contradict the Holy Spirit. You see? No entity of the great order of things that is elected, an elected entity can lie. You see? Can contradict himself in the scriptures. So that passage is completely false, because Christ himself, when he was on earth, already corrected people who were claiming that the Messiah was a descendant of David. And we're going to show you this passage. When we go in Matthew chapter 40, in Matthew chapter 22, verse 42, you're told, what do you think about the Messiah? Question mark. Whose son is he? Question mark. So Christ was asking a question, was asking questions. What do you think? Good News Translation, what do you think about the Messiah? Whose descendant is he from? Aramaic Bible in plain English, what are you saying? What are you? The men, the people. What in New American Bible, what is your opinion? Because there are many people as today, they have opinions. They're thinking that Christ is from David. Christ already answered that. Christ already corrected those claims. That's why he asked them those questions, because you have to understand that Christ had the visions, knew that there will be people who will try to come and falsify the text, who will try to make it seem as that he is from the lineage of David, that he is a descendant of David. That's why he asked those questions on earth, because he already saw that Satan will come and inspire people to falsify the text, and many people will fall into those traps. So he already answered that, so that the people who will read that won't be shocked, won't fall into that trap. He already denounced that. And here in Matthew chapter 22, verse 42, he said, what are you saying about the Messiah? Question mark. Whose son is he? Question mark. They were saying to him, the son of David. You see? Because many people already believed that. 42. New American Bible. So Matthew 22, 42. They replied, David's. Good News Translation. He is David's descendant. They answered. They answered. And here Christ didn't tell them that, oh, yes, that's true, or you have the revelation. Because according to the current Bibles, when Peter said that you are Christ, the Son of the Creator, the Son of God in the current classical Bible, he told him, it is not flesh and blood who revealed you these things. Because it was a revelation. It was true. But here, it was their opinion, it was what they were saying, and that was not true. That's why he will correct them. He will rebuke them. In Matthew chapter 22, verse 44, Berean Standard Bible. Before 44, I'll go 43. Christ responded, comma, then why does David, comma, speaking under the inspiration of the Spirit, call the Messiah my Lord? For David said. So New King James Version, he said to them, how then does David in the Spirit call him Lord? You have to understand that because in the spiritual, a son cannot be called master by his father. That in the spiritual plane, that doesn't pass. You see? And the fact that David called the Christ my Lord, Christ cannot come out of his lineage, cannot be his son. You see? Because in Hebrews chapter 7, verse 7, it is beyond dispute that the inferior is blessed by the superior. But you have to understand that Christ speaks in the three dimensions. When he speaks because there are three dimensions. He speaks in the three planes: the spiritual, the astral, and the physical. And here you have to understand that physically, Christ could not come out of the lineage of David. That's what he was explaining here in Matthew chapter 22. And you have to understand that also spiritually and prophetically, he could not come out of that lineage as well. Matthew chapter 22, verse 44. The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand and until I put my enemy under your feet. Here it is according to the current Bibles. So In Matthew chapter 22, verse 44, it says, since David called the Messiah my Lord, comma, how can the Messiah be his son? You see? Because that's not possible. Christ comes from the Levite tribe, the priestly tribe, the sacrificator. If you don't know the mysteries of the scriptures, of the profound prophecy, you have to shut up. You have to shut yourself up. Because many people, they come, you will read the Bible on the surface. You're going to take this passage here, and you're going to say, no, in Hebrew, this means that. In Greek, this means that. But you don't understand that you've been deceived, that they've falsified the text, that the fake Jews, they've lied to you. In the translation Bible du Semeur, he says, that's a French version, he says, how is it possible that the Messiah be his descendant? You see? Because that's not possible. Christ demonstrated here that he cannot be from David. In Matthew chapter 22, verse 46, and no one was able to answer him a word, comma, nor from that day on did anyone dare question him anymore, because he exposed their lack of knowledge. He exposed how they don't understand the scriptures, how their opinion was false. You have to understand that the scribes, the fake Jews, and so on, those who came to falsify history, who tried to falsify the scriptures, the text, the passage, they've brought what is called the Christocentrism, where they've tried to put all major prophecies, all major prophecies that could impact the intellect, they put it, oh no, this is referring to the Christ. They put Christ at the center of it. And they put their fake JC, Jesus, as the center of all the major prophecies, when it wasn't referring to him. You see? So they lied, they falsified. And for that one, we go in once again to show you that Christ is not the descendant of David. When we go in Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, it says, I, Christ, comma, have sent my angel to give you this testimony to the churches, period. I am the root of the offspring of David, comma, the bright morning star. So here, according to Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, supposedly Christ says that he is the offspring of David. But this is in Revelation. This is after he already left the earth. Supposedly he went to heaven. He said on earth, he corrected the people who were claiming that he will be that he is a descendant of David. He corrected them on earth. He went supposedly to heaven, and then comes back on his word and said, no, in fact, I'm from the lineage of David. He corrected himself. You see the contradiction, you see the lie. It makes no sense. And because those who have falsified the text, they will think they're smart, like criminals who will think they're smart when they commit their crime. They'll try to remove their prints. They'll try to remove the trace of their action, the trace of their presence. But they are detective. There is the forensic science where they will be able to find the trace. They will be able to find the prints of those criminals and expose them and arrest them. Those detectives who are intelligent, because the criminals, they will think they're smart, but they are in fact not. That's why you have to understand that those who falsify the text of scriptures, they acted the same way. They thought they were smart. They thought that they could falsify, change, modify, and there won't be any trace. But Loba, the unique creator, has allowed by his verb that even though they falsify the text, though there are passages where they couldn't modify, they couldn't change, for the detective to come and reveal those traces and expose their lies. That's why in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8, you're told, how can you say we are wise and the law of the Lord is with us? Behold, the lying pen of the scribe has made the law into a lie. The lying pen of the scribes. That's why when we go in Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, pay attention. The person who's speaking, who's claiming to be the descendant, the offspring of David, is going to say this. He says, I, Christ, have sent my angel to testify to you about these things for the churches, period. I am the root and the descendant of David, comma, the bright morning star, period. And who is the bright morning star? When we go in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, you're told, how have you fallen from heaven, comma, morning star, son of the dawn? You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nation. And here in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, he was referring to Satan. The morning star in the Bible is referring to Satan. You see the mark, you see the print of Satan in Revelation chapter 22, verse 16. Because the same person who's supposedly claiming to be the descendant of David is also the bright morning star. So that's Satan, that's the spirit of lie. So it could not have been the true Christ who says that he is from David, because the true Christ on earth already corrected that. So you have to understand that that passage was inspired by Satan. Revelation 5:5 was inspired by Satan. Revelation 22:16 was inspired by Satan. And you have to understand in Revelation 5:5, it says, the one of the elders said to me, stop weeping, look closely. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has overcome and conquered. He can open the scroll and break its 7 seals. Like I've mentioned, that's Christocentrism. But you have to understand that those who have written those passages, they confused the era, they confused the year, the time and space. They mixed everything. Because when we go in Genesis chapter 49, verse 9, you're told, Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating his prey, period. So Judah is the lion of the tribe of Judah. Because there were many tribes. There were many tribes. And you will understand why it specifies the lion of the tribe of Judah, of the tribe of Judah. Why does it specify that? Because there were many tribes, and they were, in those tribes, there were people that were compared to lions, that were referred to as lions. And Judah had a tribe, and he also had another brother. He had a brother who was also compared to a lion. That's why he specified the lion of the tribe of Judah. Good News Translation, Judah is like a lion, killing his victim and returning to his den. Killing his victim and returning to its den. And you will see how they confused everything, how they mixed everything. Because when we go in New Revised Standard Version, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. And Amplified Bible, no, Good News Translation, killing his victim and returning. When you kill the victim and you return, you have to understand that that means he went to the fight, he won, so he conquered. You see? In Genesis chapter 49, verse 9, in another version, it says, from the carnage. Coming from the carnage. So coming from the victory, coming from the kill, because he conquered. You see? That's why they confused it. And in Revelation 5:5, they say, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has overcome and conquered. Because Judah came from his victory, so he conquered from killing his victim in Good News Translation. You see? But they mixed everything and they say, no, he was referring to the Christ. So, now, when we go in Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 22, in New Living Translation, you're told, Moses said this about the tribe of Dan. Dan is a lion's cub leaping out of Bashan. He as well was compared to a lion. It was referred to as a lion. That's why Moses here said this about the tribe of Dan. Because there's also the lion of the tribe of Dan. You see? But in the scriptures, that's why he specified the lion of the tribe of Judah. To know who are we referring to. Because there were many patriarchs that were referred to, that were compared to as lions. You see? So Christ is not the lion of the tribe of Judah. Christ in the scriptures was known as a lamb. And that was confirmed, that was testified by John the Baptist. In John chapter 1, verse 29, the next day John saw Christ coming toward him and said, look, here it says, the Lamb of God who take away the sin of the world. When it says the sin of the world, you have to understand it's the sin of the people. And in John chapter 1, verse 36, New Living Translation, as Christ walked by, John looked at him and declared, look, there is the Lamb of God, the Lamb. So to take away the sin, there is a fight. And he fights as a lamb. So, Revelation 22 verse 16 is false. Revelation 5:5, Revelation 5:5 is false. Those are falsified passages, falsified text. Because the Christ himself already contradict the claim that he was from David, from the lineage of David. So, there's only one teacher, Zulula 100. So, there's only one authentic Bible without any errors or contradiction. It's Bibel. Here, Bibel. See, the authentic Bible. The only Bible without any errors or contradiction. So, this message was to once again demonstrate that there's only one teacher. All the fake pastors out there, all the people out there claiming to be teachers, they are in confusion. They are simply exposing their lack of knowledge, their lack of understanding of the scriptures. That's why their teachings are full of lies, mistakes, errors. That was the message. All glory be to Loba, the only and unique creator.